Greetings and welcome to another series of weekly devotionals. This week we're looking at a couple of short verses in chapter 4 of Paul's letter to the Philippians, which really kind of center and focus on the things that might give us joy during this Advent season. One of my favorite TV shows was the sitcom Seinfeld. I remember a particular episode where the character of Kramer was experimenting with this self-help tape called Serenity Now, and he was encouraged whenever he felt distressed to just say the words Serenity Now, and he would feel this calm and this peace move over him. And throughout the episode, these things keep happening to him that make him more and more annoyed and agitated, and he keeps saying Serenity Now, but you can see through the episode that it's not really working. And at the end of the episode, he says Serenity Now, but he kind of boils over and just blows up and loses it in rage. And the point of that episode, or at least that part of the episode, is that saying the words serenity doesn't necessarily make you feel serene inside, and certainly the same is true for Paul writing this letter and reading this letter. Rejoice in the Lord. Again, I say rejoice over and over again. He says, rejoice, rejoice. But of course, the Philippians were going through some times of anxiety and distress, and just telling them to rejoice isn't necessarily going to make them feel happier about their circumstances. But that's exactly the point. That's the point that Paul, I think, is making, is that joy for him is not a feeling. It is a theological act, a theological choice. It is a choice to practice joy. And as Paul writes, do not worry about anything. The Lord is near. But in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. For Paul, and what Paul is trying to make clear is that even in the midst of circumstances that speak to the opposite, the truth is, the reality is that God is working and will work to rectify the world, to make things right. And what Paul is exhorting his followers and those of us who read his words today is to choose to consider not what is on the surface of things, what the circumstances appear to be, but choosing to consider God's actions and choosing to trust that God will indeed rectify the world. In our world today, in our society, that might seem unlikely. It might seem difficult to make that choice, but after all, that's what faith is all about, and we are people of faith, and that's what the practice of joy is about. And so as we move through this season of Advent, even though it may be difficult, we are called to look to God, to recognize God's presence with us, and to practice joy. Amen.